What's happening, everybody? So we talking about She-Hulk Attorney at Law. And, just like the title says, it's word up because it's full of cameo. So, like I said, I'm not live, but I'm still giving you the opinions you didn't know you needed about things you watch on TV and in the movies. So this week, we're going to tap into She-Hulk Attorney at Law once again and tackle episodes 2 and 3 this Labor Day weekend. All right. Now, here's the problem. There really isn't much to this show except for setup after setup after setup and showing there are more superpower beings running around in the Marvel Cinematic Universe than we were led to believe. I mean, after the whole Infinity Saga, the subsequent abandoning of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Netflix Marvel, and getting a semblance of resurrection, and the Inhumans. All right. But Disney Plus does seem to be the go-to for introducing characters that may or may not have an MCU future. And we're going to get more into that. All right. We're going to get more into that. So let's talk about episode 2. So episode 2, not very exciting, but it deals with the aftermath of Jen becoming the She-Hulk in public and her family dynamic as they do for acceptance and all that stuff. It's completely off the rails because they're already dysfunctional from, Bruce being a Hulk, cousins, remember? Okay, so here's the deal. With this show being a comedy, I get it. In the vein of The Office and breaking the fourth wall, and don't at me. She did this first in the comics, not Deadpool. Bottom line. Tired of hearing you guys, oh, Deadpool does it better. No, She-Hulk did it first. She-Hulk refined it. Go back, read the comics. Deadpool was a serious dude in the beginning. I don't want to hear it. So, this is the point where I feel if you're not a longtime comic book fan who understands these characters, have a history in comic books, and the adaptation for television is doing its best to modernize it to mirror what people see today, for better or for worse. Now, the big setup in this episode is, why is the Hulk headed into space? Spoiler if you haven't watched episode 2. But this is a setup for the rumored World War Hulk adaptation, if we get it. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be a Disney Plus show, or did Marvel/Disney finally make a deal with Universal to do a standalone Hulk movie? And there's a couple of good videos online about this, where they talk about the usage rights, who gets paid, and things like that. We worked a few things out with Sony. Hopefully they can work a few things out with Hulk. So I can't wait to see how they do this. Maybe they'll bring back Savage Hulk, or maybe give us Mr. Fix-It upon his return. That would be kind of cool. Mr. Fix-It was like my favorite Hulk. I don't know. It is what it is. But these shows are doubling down on cameos, word up, and I'm sorry, I just can't help it. And they basically are doubling down on the after credits, showing new characters that made appearances in comic books. And we're finally getting to see where and how these shows tie in with the current phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, She-Hulk, it does solidify its spot as happening after the movie ShangChi, as evidenced by the end of the show, episode 2, with the leaked video of Abomination and Wong at the Fight Club that we saw in the beginning of ShangChi. Now, episode 3. That's the best episode content-wise, in my opinion. Because where episode 2 acknowledged the Ed Norton Hulk movie, you remember that? Yeah, I'm totally a different person. Yeah, okay, I got you. Tongue-in-cheek humor. But the show turning into a cameo fest. I mean, we get so many characters appearing from other Marvel properties. I'm not talking about introduction to new characters like Tatiana. No, I'm talking about cameo. Hulk, Abomination, Wong. Hell, we got Megan Thee Stallion this week. Oh God, these fourth wall references, that she does. She knows it's being a cameo fest. Look at the beginning of episode 3. Spoiler: she's gonna say it. Okay, so let's make this kind of cool. And it's you got the rumors. The online was like, oh, Megan Thee Stallion's in the MCU. Well, she played herself. Okay, that's cool. Well, no, she didn't play herself. She played herself. Hey, context, right? Okay, go figure. So here's the deal. The part I really enjoyed, it took a shot at the casual comic book fans, especially if you pay attention, looking at the social media reactions regarding the She-Hulk and things and the Smart Hulk. There were comments that they had in the little fake news shows and what is it? And entertainments type stuff. Like, quote, I don't have a problem with female heroes. Just say make your own. I mean, come on, man. Or, but I'd smash. Why they had a brother say that about She-Hulk. It is what it is. But here's the thing. If this isn't how people really react now to the MCU and to a lot of this stuff that we see with female superheroes and the comic books and things like that, everybody's on a woke agenda. No, there's always been female superheroes. It's just how they're written and how they've been portrayed. So, I had a spit take when I started reading all that stuff in the background, and I was like, oh, they just calling people out left and right. But I am going to talk about 3 things that are spoilers that I really enjoyed about this week's episode 3. Number 1, seeing the first appearance of the Marvel Cinematic Universe Wrecking Crew. Yo, to see the Wrecking Crew, but this wasn't the Wrecking Crew I was used to. These dudes were kind of small and skinny. I thought they would at least get some wrestlers, get some buff dudes. I mean, get some swole. I could have been one of the Wrecking Crew. These guys were kind of tiny, but it was kind of cool seeing the crowbar and mentioning the name Thunderball. That was kind of real good. That was real good. Getting Wong to reference that they fucked up in No Way Home. Pardon my language, but the memory erasure and all that stuff, Wong admitted it. Okay, Wong admitted it. They referenced it. So somewhere, somehow, somebody remembers Peter Parker and Spider-Man. That's a little nod to that one. And then the after credit scene. So far, we've been doing pretty well with She-Hulk. 3 episodes, 3 after credit scenes. They're doubling down, like I said. But to have her with Megan Thee Stallion shaking that tail, looking like old girl from Bob's Burgers, had me dying. But this show, hey, I don't care what anybody says, this show is worth watching, especially for long time Marvel Comics fans, just for the Easter eggs and for us to say, okay, this is what they did. Now, there's going to be people upset because these characters aren't as serious as they are in the comic books, but it's the movie universe. It's not the comic book universe. Just sit back and enjoy. Oh, and to everybody that's a special effects expert, I don't care. The CGI can be a slightly off. I'm cool with this. The special effects. Everybody on Twitter, they're nitpicking this stuff. You can't do any better. You don't know what the budget for this show was. You don't know how much this costs. How you gonna act like everything is supposed to be Avatar? I don't think so, homie. I don't think so. Just sit back, enjoy what you got. I grew up with a dude painted green as my Hulk. So I could deal with this. I could deal with it. Just saying. Anyway, hey, hope y'all enjoying y'all day. Be back live. I should be back live next Sunday. But until then, remember, if you can't say anything nice about somebody, don't say it at all. Send it to me. Let me say it for you. And peace, y'all. I'm out of here.